So we talked about Indiana Jones. Now, the big flop before that was, of course, The Flash, which I watched today. And I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually a recommend. Amazingly, it's a recommend. Now, the thing you probably all know about it is it's got a bunch of cameos in. Basically, they all work, right? Basically, they all work. I found the Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater one very exploitative, right? But this is what they sold it on. What it is actually, I would think, more than that is just as was it Avengers Endgame or whatever that one was, a capstone for the MCU for me. This is a capstone for superhero movies, right? This is very, very postmodern in that it talks about its own genre a lot without realizing it, right? So the overriding story is Barry Allen goes back in time to change his tragic past, and as and things start to unravel. We'll go into it in much more detail. Things start to unravel, but his basic journey is he finally realizes, right, that what was I going to say? He finally realizes that he shouldn't have done it. That was, and he needs to go back and undo what he did. But he's looking at the destruction of all these universes, all these like superhero universe, and he says, "Oh my God, we've done this. I've done this to myself, right? I have done this," and that's what the truth is. They have destroyed the superhero movies in the same thing. They destroyed everything by having female version of everything and this false agenda that no one was interested in. But it's really interesting that at the end of this movie, when you do see all these other universes, you're basically acknowledging all of TV superheroes up until this point as it collapses and implodes. And oh boy, it collapses and implodes. So let's talk about the story a bit. It starts off very well, right? It starts off making you ache for the Snyder universe that we never had, right? There's a really good Snyder universe adventure for the first 20 minutes. Now, the one thing that's a problem with this is how much Ezra Miller is deeply off-putting and puts out these very weird pedo vibes, right? He puts them out very strongly, right? Like you can't not see it at this point. It's really loud, right? Puts out so I honestly I think maybe it'll probably completely not economical, but I would have said reshot all his scenes with Grant Gustin, just everything, just get rid of him completely. He's very distracting. It's like his pedoness, his perviness is very, very distracting. That being said, again, the opening 20 minutes is fan-freaking-tastic. You get... See, why do I like the Ben Affleck Batman, which is not on this? Where is it? They have the Ben Affleck Batman, but I can't believe he's not on this list, right? It's the only really comic book accurate Batman. So here, I've got a couple of clips to show you, which I think have been released officially. Hang on a second. Well, again, I like his bat costume. I like his Batman. I like everything about his Batman, right? To me, this is like reading a comic book made into a movie. And this doesn't feel like massively green screen as we get later. This is pure comic book Batman, right? This is what you get when you read a good Batman comic book. Pick him up! And I have to say, I always like the in Batman versus Superman how we had the giant cyber suit thing. That's straight out Frank Miller's Dark Knight. But yeah, all this is very entertaining. All this is very well done. Bit too much sun flare there to hide the bad special effects. Can you fly, Bobby? I mean, this probably isn't Ben Affleck for most of it, isn't it? Probably some stuff guy. Yeah, that dude, that's a bit stupid. I would just pull over. There you go. Anime, let me just check we're still on. I didn't get haven't got copyright zapped yet. There you go. Thank God for that. Fine. So again, I thought that was excellent, right? I really did. And then you have Wonder Woman shows up for one scene, and again, you ache. You genuinely ache for the Snyderverse that you never saw, right? It really is like that. Here, one second. This is a Wonder Woman scene. Now they're beginning a lot of shit about this because basically Wonder Woman saves Batman, and it goes into a bit of a joke moment. For me, this is fine. The Wonder Woman music is perfect. Gal Gadot casting is perfect. She looks fantastic. Loving all of this. I mean, she actually looks better now. Incredible.
Sorry I'm late.
I mean, you do get a feeling they shot all this on green screens around the world.
Watch your step.
Hi.
Hey.
And again, I like they address the sexual tension between the two of them.
Nice suit. Looking good, Flash.
Well, thank.
I mean, again, the geeky, creepy thing just makes me feel like he's a pedophile. She looks gorgeous.
And you are welcome.
My ego's far too big to say thank you to someone else. I developed this.
I don't think the lasso of Hestia compels you to tell the truth unless it says I compel you.
All-powerful persona to compensate for my childhood trauma.
I too have childhood trauma.
The lasso of truth never gets old.
I mean, again, for me, this works as a capstone on the Snyderverse and superhero movies.
A lot better just give me all that money. If I really want to end crime, I should end poverty.
Well, I know sex exists. I've just never experienced it.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's like, I don't have this guy talk about sex. It gets creepier every second. So basically, I'm saying the first 20 minutes, you get a really good Snyder Cut universe opening, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The only thing that put me off was Ezra Miller just has this very pedo pervy vibes coming off him, much more so in this movie than than normal. Anyway, fine. So he runs so fast at some point he goes back a day in time. He realizes he can go back in time, so he has the idea of going back and stopping his mother being killed and his father being arrested for his murder. Yeah, the basic flash of her murder, the basic flashback backstory. So Bruce Wayne's like, no, man, you're going to unravel the whole, all of reality. So he works out the reason this happened. The father went to get some, because of his father was out because he went to pick up a can of tomatoes that the wife forgot at the supermarket. So he goes back in time and puts gets a can of tomatoes and sneaks it into her basket. So they do one thing I found there's two things I found reasonably annoying with this. Because it just seemed very it seemed like Hollywood producers screaming they're not racist when they clearly are racist. Now he's got, Barry Allen has a Latino mother. Okay, and I think Latino father, I'm not sure. And Iris West is just, she looked really hot in Justice League, and now she is just, she's put on some weight, right? She's put on some weight. She doesn't look as good as she used to. But anyway, so he goes back in time, and then he starts coming back to his time, and there's like a monster in the Speed Force vortex thing that knocks him out. And he falls out on time, and it must be 2000 or something, and everything's changed, right? His mother and father, his mother's still alive, his father's still alive. He's grown up, he's had a whole life with them, and he meets his younger self, his 18-year-old self. So this takes kind of most of the movie that they're teamed up together, right? So he realizes he gets back there on the day that he gains his powers. So and like this version of 18-year-old Barry is a bit of a stoner loser. So he has to like drag him to the place where he's going to get the powers, and that happens. And but Barry loses his powers. So now you got like 18-year-old Barry with powers and Barry without powers. They do stuff like his ring with the suit in it. Love that, right? I love that. So then they go and try and find Batman, and now it's no longer Ben Affleck. No Linda Carter. Yeah, I thought, yeah, Ashonda, right? They go to find Batman, and they go to Barry Allen. And Barry Allen is such a Latino name, so it's so on an Archer. It's so stupid, right? It's so they ask the preacher screaming, "We're not racist!" when they're super duper racist, right? They are super duper racist. So they go and find Bruce Wayne, who's basically retired because Gotham City is now all together and made it like a nice place to live. And it's not Ben Affleck now; it's what's his name? Oh. Michael Keaton, right? So Michael Keaton. So he has a kind of an interesting explanation. He says, look, when you change the past, you change the entire time. Everything changes, right? It's like completely insane. Two Ezra Millers, what a selling point. Yes, and one is creepier than the other. Yeah, it's really, but still this movie is a recommend. I think this was a good superhero movie, quite frankly. It was a superhero movie doing something I haven't really seen before. Much more successful than the Marvel's attempt to do Mulder. Much more successful. I mean, like by a long way. So anyway, then with Batman, so the General Zod has just showed up. How they got? What's the name from? Let me look at I'll look at the Flash cast. The Flash cast. It's not Michael Shannon. Is it Michael Shannon? The Flash movie 2023. Okay. No, I don't want to see a 2013 short. Oh, is this it? Hang on. So yeah, Michael Shannon, blimey, yeah, it was him. Right, they got Michael Shannon's just turned up as Zod. So you got this weird mixture of universes going on. And no Wesley shit Flash either. Yeah, exactly. So you got this whole weird mutated universe where they got to find Superman so he can defeat Zod for some reason, right? So they go and break out. So they go and find where Superman is. He's being held somewhere, and it turns out not to be Superman. Now this is something everybody shuddered about. That whatever her name is playing Supergirl. She was great. Okay, she was really good. Firstly, she's sexy as hell in the costume. That for me, I think, is 90% of the issue. She looks hot, right? She makes me horny. So there you go. That is the reason why you have superhero chicks, right? To make the readers horny. Yes, that's why they wear spandex and they have good figures and nice tits, right? Yes, to make the little boys reading it horny. Excellent. You did a good job. She's good at this, and she's actually plays the character well. So she is the protector or sent ahead of Jor-El. And he never turned up. So in this universe, turns out that the plot doesn't matter. Okay, the plot doesn't matter. I still recommend it. Right? It had been killed by Zod. They want her DNA or something to remake Krypton. Or so it just kind of gets into a loud fighting match at that point where you get both Flashes, Batman, and Supergirl fighting the Kryptonians, basically Zod, which is all, I tell you, it's all pretty solid. It's like $1 billion budget. I want to go to the cinema. I will certainly watch it on my at home, which is what I did. So then you have young Barry, 18-year-old Barry, just going back in time to try and fix this battle to have it come out. He turns out that he's the monster. It was very obvious that he was. That knocked Barry at the timeline in the beginning. Barry says, I understand. I just got to let this go, because he remembers a memory of his mother saying, sometimes there's not an answer. You just got to let things go, right? And so he goes back in time, and after he puts the can of tomatoes in, he takes it. He takes it out, so he doesn't. And he has a bit of an interaction with his Latino mother, because that really works, right? That really totally works. So then when he goes back to his time, and things are subtly different. Firstly, the reason that his father couldn't get off because there was security footage of him buying a can of tomatoes, and when he looked down he never saw his face. So he goes back, and weirdly the footage has changed now, and the tomatoes are on the top shelf, making him look up so he can be exonerated. And at the very end, Bruce Wayne shows up. And it's George Clooney, who's kind of shit as Bruce Wayne. So who's Teddy Sears at Jay Garrick? I never heard of him before. One second. Teddy Sears, Jay Garrick. Like, what TV show was that from? One second. So, one second. I'm looking at his resume. Oh, fine. So he was in. So he's the one who played Jay Garrick in the Flash Flashes. But Nicolas Cage as Superman, that was fun because you have him fighting a giant spider, which is what the producer always wanted to happen. Like the Adam West Batman is good. The Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater one felt very exploitative. So, and then you have this weird post-credit sequence where Aquaman is super drunk and nothing really happens, right? Nothing really happens. But again, when you see all these different universes appearing with each one with their own different superheroes in it, and you go, "Oh my God, I did this!" As they all get destroyed, right? As they all get like crush against each other. Again, his revelation is, "Oh my God, I did this!" Right? I found it like he was commenting on the state of superhero movies. And yeah, you did. You essentially did this, right? Yeah, you essentially did. A bit of a closer look at Nicolas Cage. That's from the 1990s. That's how we saw him. The special effects weren't great at all. As I said, what's the name? Is very creepy. Ezra Miller is very creepy. And it doesn't help the production at all, right? At all. Basically, I think he single-handedly killed it. But that being said, I found it. I found it sits comfortably with the rest of the Snyderverse movies, right? I would watch it again. I totally would watch, but I would never watch Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny again. Like never, ever. Right? Yeah, I know it's a Silver Age Flash Day, Garrick, but I didn't know what TV show he was from. Apparently, it was the CW one. I don't know. How much would it have been to reshoot everything with Grant Gustin? It might have been worth it. Right? It might have been worth it. Because, like, boy, did he really sink this production? He absolutely did. Not very good. So it's a cross between Flashpoint and Infinite Crisis. I don't know Infinite Crisis, but probably. Yeah. So, look, I just told you the entire plot. So whatever that was is what it was, right? But it certainly wasn't, the disaster that it was at the box office, right? It's just, as they said in the movies, they destroyed it. They destroyed the
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.